Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the January 20th edition of the Carolina Weather Video here. I want to start off with a look at the storm reports from yesterday. Interesting to note the tornado reports from Southern California. Not every day you see that, but with this very active southern branch of the jet stream, the system that moved ashore yesterday did produce severe weather. And you're talking there were some pretty high wind reports around the San Francisco Bay Area, and then the tornado reports around the Los Angeles area. So pretty interesting to note that system spreading out into the southern plain states today. These are temperatures this morning, 5 a.m. temperatures, and notice you're looking at a lot of mild air waiting on that system. And because of that, you have a severe weather threat today there in the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. And tomorrow, that severe weather threat still in the Tennessee Valley and down through South Georgia and parts of Florida. So the severe weather threat with this system well to our south, but we are going to see the rain from it. Really two prongs to this system. The first little piece of energy is out here in Missouri. That's causing some pretty heavy rain this morning in parts of the Mississippi Valley. That will be weakening, but the main core of the system is still back in the desert southwest this morning, and that's what's going to really bring us some pretty good rains tomorrow. And we'll see a little rain with that first system, but the heavier rains will be with the second piece of energy. Now, watch and warning products this morning, you're looking at freezing rain and ice storm warnings out in parts of the plain states with that first piece of energy. And then still some winter storm warnings and some heavy snow warnings back in the desert southwest. Out in advance of the system, you have a flash flood watch in effect for much of central Mississippi, as another pretty good rain event's on the way for those folks. So let's get into the modeling. 6C running the GFS here. And it still looks like a pretty good cold air damming event will unfold with this system. Now today we're going to squeeze in still a relatively mild day. A lot of our highs pretty close to 60 looks like this afternoon. And a lot of clouds today though. The clouds will be thickening up with time. And as we go through this afternoon and especially tonight, could see some light rain at times. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. See some light rain being indicated around the region. In the meantime, look at that surface low cranking back around northeastern Arkansas. That'll really deepen. And here we are now at midday tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Surface low moving up near Paducah, Kentucky. And you can clearly pick up that cold air damming here across the Piedmont zones of North Carolina down into the upstate and even maybe northeast Georgia, getting into that cold air damming, of course, as well. And looks like probably the heavier rain will hold off until tomorrow afternoon, and it does look like a pretty good slug of moisture will move through for the North Carolina Piedmont zones mainly tomorrow afternoon, and then by the time we get out to 1 a.m. on Friday morning, that heavier rain pulling away. And finally, by 1 p.m. Friday, you're looking at some lingering light rain remaining a possibility. But, of course, the heavier rain probably mainly tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow evening. In terms of rain amounts, it still looks like a pretty good rain event. I think many of us picking up an inch or so of rain, maybe some localized higher amounts. Now, in terms of precipitation type, I'm really kind of concerned about the mountains and those higher elevations, as it looks, frankly, overall, fairly similar to the Christmas Day ice storm that occurred. Maybe not quite as cold as with that system, but I think it certainly bears watching for the higher elevations around Boone and maybe some foothill locations and getting into some of the ice with this as well. But certainly up in the higher elevations of the mountains with this, I'm concerned about some icing occurring. And again, I still think it could be possible for the northern foothill locations to see a period of freezing rain with this. But for most of our region, Piedmont certainly, and really most of the foothills, probably just warm enough for a liquid event with this system. But the active storm track continues. The next system not too far away. This is 1 p.m. Saturday. The next system taking shape in the plains. We go out to Sunday. That system already pulling in. And boy, it looks like that one's going to produce some heavy rain. Watch the progress of this band of rain with this system. This is 1 p.m. Sunday, 7 p.m. Sunday. Not a lot of movement. And you get out to 1 a.m. Monday, and that band slowly moving across the region before it pushes eastward by Monday morning, later on Monday morning. So that'll probably be a good rain event coming up later Sunday and Sunday night. And that's sort of the system that kicks things into gear toward somewhat of a pattern change. That's a look at Tuesday, a cooler certainly pattern. Wednesday, cooler as well. Nothing brutally cold yet, but a cooler pattern for sure. Now let's go out to the 7 to 10 day mean here, European on the left, GFS on the right, and I want to show you that the troughing building here in parts of Asia, and a lot of times that does teleconnect a week or so down the road to a pretty cold pattern in the central and eastern part of the country. And the spread here amongst the Arctic oscillation ensembles here, notice a lot of spread showing up here toward the end of the run. That means there's a lot of uncertainty, but I think the overall idea here is as we head toward early February, heading toward a colder pattern. This was back the 0Z run of the GFS, and this was the 30th of January. Pretty good amount of cold air available in the central and eastern part of the country. Now it's probably a little heavy-handed with the depth of the cold air, but you get the idea here. This was the 31st, and this is out at February 3rd. Another system moving through, a lot of cold air behind it. I think we are certainly going to make that transition back to a colder pattern and probably a stormy pattern at times. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.